Today, I'm going to show you why TikTok ads are the single biggest opportunity in e-commerce in South Africa right now. If you rely heavily on meta advertising, then you've probably realized that things aren't going the way they used to. And that's exactly why this training is so important. If you are here, you are probably a small business owner that just cannot keep up with the rising ad costs on platforms like Meta. When you look at your results at the end of the month, you realize you are hardly breaking even. That's because ads are getting more and more expensive and your return on ad spend is coming down. This gets made even worse when you are paying someone else like an agency or an expert to run ads for you, and you have to factor their costs into this as well. Most of the time you are barely breaking even and sometimes even losing money. As business owners who really rely on paid ads, we many times find ourselves looking back to Meta ads in 2016, 2017, all the way through to 2021, 22, where things were just performing so well, where you could run an ad with an image as your creative and you could make 16, 17, 18 times returns. That was amazing, and that's when a lot of e-commerce businesses in South Africa did very well. But the truth is those days are gone. The CPMs and cost to advertise on Meta are so expensive at the moment. Most businesses are just struggling to stay alive. Or if you are interested in this training, you could be a marketer yourself or even an aspiring marketer looking for a niche or a platform that is not as saturated yet and that is the next big thing in South Africa. There is so much opportunity on TikTok ads right now. It is unbelievable. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Donovan. I'm from Cape Town. I've been in the paid ads game for the past 6 years now. I started my Meta marketing agency back in 2019, I believe it was, and we've been doing paid ads since then. So in the last 2 years, I really realized a shift, and this is where we shifted a lot of our efforts to TikTok ads and to content creation. And we did this because we see this is where the market is going, and this is how you can set yourself apart. In my time running paid ads, I've probably spent, I think we worked it out the other day, it's over 50 million in ad spend, and we've generated over 270 million rand in sales for the clients whose ads we have managed. So paid ads are changing. The old playbook doesn't work anymore, but if you know how to run TikTok ads, or you learn how to run TikTok ads now, you are ahead of the curve. You are going to be an early adopter of this ads platform that is going to explode very soon. Imagine learning Facebook ads in 2013, 2012, 2010 already, before it absolutely boomed. You are in that position right now with TikTok ads. So now that you know that TikTok ads is such a massive opportunity, I'm actually going to share my screen with you and dive into some metrics just to give you an actual example and show you the difference between Meta and TikTok. And these are figures from actual ad accounts that we are currently managing their ads and running these ads. The first example, I'm going to look at CPM, which is the cost to reach 1,000 impressions. Now, CPM is far more expensive on Facebook than TikTok. TikTok actually has a very cheap CPM, so it's way more affordable to reach 1,000 impressions. I'm going to show you a real example right now. Okay, so we have some metrics here. Basically what we have, this line is Meta ads. This line, these are TikTok ads. So if we look at an ad spend of 10,000 Rand each, I've written down some CPMs here. CPM for Meta, CPM for TikTok. Now, these are actual CPM figures. These are the same clients running ads on Meta and TikTok. And this is literally how different the CPMs are on these platforms. So this is from the last couple of months. It's a like-for-like comparison, similar creatives, same type of offer, everything. So as you can see, the CPM on Meta is 55 Rand. So that means you're paying 55 Rand to reach 1,000 impressions. Now on TikTok, the CPM is 19 Rand. So you're only paying 19 Rand to reach 1,000 impressions. So if we move on here to the next little bit. Now what that means for us is for this ad spend on Meta, you're getting 181,000 impressions. And on TikTok, you're getting over 500,000 impressions. Now, I want to move on to, let me zoom out a bit here. The next bit we're going to look at is click-through rate. Now, what you will find most of the time here is that the click-through rate on Meta is going to be higher. But I'm going to explain to you where the massive opportunity lies at the moment. So in this scenario, the click-through rate on Meta was 2.6 and the click-through rate on TikTok was 0.9. So moving on and seeing what that gives us in terms of clicks. It gives us almost an identical amount of clicks generated to the website. But here's the big catch. So the limiting factor on Meta's side is the CPMs. The CPMs are rising and they're getting very high. The limiting factor on TikTok's side is the click-through rate in this example. Now, here's where the big opportunity comes. There isn't much you can do about the CPMs on Meta. There just isn't. I know marketing experts might lose their cool here and say, yes, you can if you target broader, but most people are targeting broad. Most people are trying to get their creatives right. The CPM could go down fractionally, but a large part of these CPMs are out of our control. But the difference is, if we look to the click-through rate on TikTok, what we have seen is when you get these creatives right, this click-through rate actually goes to about double this, which is 1.8%, which then doubles this figure, taking it to, I'm just going to make a rough number here, taking it to about 9,400 clicks. Now, this is a massive difference. And I just also want to specify here, we've tried getting this CPM down and we've tried getting this click-through rate up on Meta. These numbers don't budge as easily on Meta. Meta gets good click-through rates for conversion campaigns, but the CPMs are high and they are very difficult to get down. Whereas on TikTok, we've gotten this click-through rate up rather easily when you understand the types of creatives that are working on TikTok. So this difference we have made here with the click-through rate has given us 9,400 clicks, which is double what we were getting on Meta. Now what we started realizing is with the same conversion rate on this client's website, let's just assume like a 2% conversion rate, which is quite good, but let's say it's a good average for Shopify. You can just imagine how many more sales actually come through from this very same ad spend when you get the creative right. So to summarize, the big advantage here is that you can manipulate that click-through rate metric on TikTok, where you cannot really manipulate that CPM metric on Meta. All right, so now you've seen the numbers, how much cheaper the CPMs are on TikTok. But as we've just seen, those cheaper CPMs only matter if you actually get the click and you get people to engage with the ad and click through to your website. And that comes down to creative. On TikTok, creative is absolutely everything. If you don't get someone's attention in the first couple of seconds, you've lost them. TikTok content, you hear a lot, the content needs to be native to the platform and you need to get people's reactions immediately. Also, TikTok's call to action button, like shop now, doesn't show up until about 4 seconds. So you need to retain attention for the first 4 seconds. So let's move on to the next part where I show you the best performing creative formats on TikTok at the moment. The way I like to think about content, especially on TikTok, is how can I communicate the same thing in 10 different ways? Now we're going to go over some of the best formats for creatives on TikTok. The first one is 3 reasons why. Let's have a look at it.
These are the most versatile shorts on the market, and here are 3 reasons why. Quick dry and mesh pocket, so they're both good for swimming and surfing. 4-way stretch and also zip pockets makes them great if you're running around, going to the gym, or basically anything while still keeping your belongings safe. The look, we designed them with a timeless fit so that you could basically go anywhere and look amazing. And they now come in 10 different colors on Donavan.K.
So that's a great ad. I can actually remember the 3 reasons why, and I'm sure you can as well. So with that format, I would use the 3 best USPs for your product or service and then condense them into this creative style. Actually give the user what are the 3 best reasons to buy this product. Another cool benefit of this format is to actually visually showcase the benefits, the 3 reasons that you're talking about. So show if you're selling clothes, show the fabric, show the stretchiness, show the versatility or the durability. This is a very cool creative format. The next creative style is testimonial, or some people call it product in use. Now people really relate with this creative style because they can actually see the features of the product, how it's used, and if it actually looks legit. So let's look at an example of an ad very quickly.
Fire stove packs into the 5-liter pot. Swipes in like that. You put the lid from the pot on top. You put the skillet on top of that. Your entire kitchen, everything you need to cook fits in that. It's ready to go.
That's a very cool ad. Now, an important part here is when you're doing this testimonial style ad, it's important to either teach people something or entertain them. Because if you think about it, people are coming to the TikTok platform to be entertained or to learn. So keep that in mind and add that little twist to it. So our next creative format is before and afters. Now, these are amazing styles of ads, and this works especially well if your product or service has like an instant makeover effect. People love to see before using your product versus after using your product and what that transformation is. So we're gonna have a look at an ad now from a company called Hi Smile. They do teeth whitening, toothpaste products, things like this, and they are incredibly effective at TikTok ads. Let's have a look.
So just open wide and leave this on your teeth for 30 seconds for whiter looking teeth. Yeah.
Do I wipe it off now?
Yeah, you could probably do that now.
Or wait, what? Yo, show me that.
There you go.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't this usually like $29?
Yeah, normally, but we actually have a secret bundle.
So that's a very cool ad. In the video, they take you through the process where she like applies the teeth whitening toothpaste, and there's almost like an instant gratification because as soon as he takes it off, his teeth are whiter. So if you can edit your ad in such a way or do it in such a way where you see that instant gratification, that is amazing for ads. Obviously, keep this honest and don't falsify the results, but you want to show good results in that before and after transformation. Now, next we're going to talk about a creative style called comment planting. Now, the reason I love comment planting is because it gives you an opportunity to really dive in immediately into the point you want to make, and you don't really need to use a visual or verbal hook too much, because what planting the comment does is it gives the listener or the viewer some immediate context as to what you're talking about. So this is a very cool creative style. Let's look at an example.
Can we show you the effects of our teeth whitening strips on a smoker? Coming right up. To demonstrate the effects of our strips on someone who actively smokes cigarettes, I will only be applying our strips to our lovely volunteer Scott's 2 front teeth and then leaving them on for 30 minutes. Okay, so it's now been 30 minutes. Let's check out Scott's results. As you can see, Scott's 2 front teeth are already a few shades whiter than the rest of his teeth.
This is a very cool ad. So obviously they're doing a couple things here. They're using the comment planting that like we're busy discussing, but they're also using a feature called voiceover, and they are using a before and after style. So this is a very effective TikTok ad. Next, we're going to look at a format called TikTok made me buy it. Now, this is a very popular hashtag on the platform. It's a very cool format for an ad because it allows you to almost disguise the ad. It looks very organic. So it also anchors the user very well, because now you're almost acting as you saw this product, especially if you get a creator to create this for you. You saw this product and you had to buy it, and this is what it's like in real life. Now, a little tip here, a cool feature with TikTok made me buy it is add like a number behind it as if it's part of a bigger series. So for example, TikTok made me buy it number 56. Let's have a look at an example.
I ordered from a small business that I found on TikTok. Let's unpack it together. I ordered a ring, a pair of earrings, a hair clip, and a scarf, and I paid less than €100 for everything. I'm curious how it looks and whether it was worth shopping there.
Very effective ad. So it follows the TikTok made me buy it format, but also it does the unboxing format, which is, I think we've all seen it so much, but it's still so effective. People love to see someone receiving a parcel, opening it, and actually seeing what the product is like in real life. The next creative format is what I ordered versus what I got. Now, I've noticed that this is an extremely popular ad format with apparel brands, because I think the biggest issue with ordering clothes, especially from a new website, is it going to look like I saw it on the website? Is it going to fit the same? Is it going to fit me how it fits the model? So this is an incredibly popular version or format of creatives. Let's have a look at an example.
What I ordered versus what I got. Amazon fashion. Okay, starting off strong. What I ordered versus what I got. Oh my gosh, I am literally in love with this. So as you can tell, it's a long sleeve, mock necked, ribbed, knitted dress. This is the coziest material, perfect for fall. I'm in love with these little like poof sleeves and then the knit again at the bottom. And the best part, dress it up with heels, take it more casual with a pair of sneakers.
This is a very cool ad. So I like what she's done there with the visual and verbal hook. She's like steps in front of the camera, which is obviously the visual hook. And then her verbal hook is what I ordered versus what I got. And then she shows the website, which is incredibly important. I mean, you need to show what you ordered. So that's kind of like how it looks on the website. And then show how you look with the product. The only tip I would give her here is to maybe use a TikTok ads effect known as green screen, where she puts herself with the dress almost in front of the screen recording of the website. there you can actually see the contrast between what I ordered versus what I got. That's a little adjustment I would make, but very cool ad. Now, lastly, I want to look at what's known as ads that don't feel like ads. Now, these ads aren't typically going to have speaking or selling. It's going to be very visual, very like almost like ASMR vibes, and it almost sneaks in as an ad because people watch it because it catches their attention and they want to see how it finishes. And it's almost left to the user to figure out, like, oh, where do I get this product? You know, what is this? And then to look for the call to action button. So let's have a look at an example. Yeah, that's a very cool ad. So I like the framing of it. They have the product like in use in screen all the time, and there's like a lot of ASMR there. Like, I mean, we all like seeing things go from dirty to clean. Maybe there's even an element of before and after in that ad as well. So that's an ad that doesn't necessarily feel like an ad. It's more just like showing a product in use. So now I actually just want to show you a case study. I want to take you into the results from one of our clients whose ad accounts we've managed, that we've actually applied all of this to that we just spoke about, where we took advantage of TikTok's cheaper CPMs and we perfected the creative. We've made so many UGC videos for this brand, it's unbelievable. Probably over 100 in the last few months, working with all sorts of creators, doing all sorts of formats to get that click-through rate as high as we can on TikTok. And we've managed to scale their Shopify big time. I'm going to show you the results now from the last 10 months. Have a look at this. So we are going to start here in December of 2024. So that's about 10 months ago. They were on 100,000 per month, 300,000 per month, 216, 450, 560, call it 800, 670, 971, 900. Last month we did 1.1 million. And this month we are on track probably to do over 1.5 million rand. So that's from 100,000 to over 1.5 million rand within 10 months. And a massive part of this was TikTok ads and UGC content and these creative formats we have spoken about now. I'm going to also quickly show you their TikTok ad results from this month. So here we are in the ad account for the results from this month. And for this specific month, we've spent 75,000 Rand. And this is what I want you to notice, the CPMs we spoke of. The average CPM for the month is just over 13 Rand. Now, if you know Meta ads, you know you can never get this on Meta ads, never, ever, ever. But here on TikTok, we've got just over 13 Rand to reach 1,000 impressions. Now, as you can see here, we've actually reached in total 5.7 million impressions. And we managed to get this click-through rate in this specific month to 1.42%. Now, as I mentioned, yes, if your click-through rate is 0.5, TikTok ads might not perform differently to Meta, but the massive opportunity, this is what you've got to keep remembering, is we can manipulate this click-through rate through good creative and understanding these styles of creative. So look here how we've gotten it to 1.42%, which has then got us in total, what's been tracked here by TikTok, 9 times return on ad spend. Now, for most brands, 9 times return on ad spend is always going to be profitable and it's always going to be scalable. So once you get there and it's relatively consistent, you can start just pumping up the ad spend, keep making new, fresh creative, and you will scale your company big time. I mean, we've done this. I've just shown you the results. It is amazing what you can do when you get this right on TikTok ads with the creatives. So we've gone through some really powerful lessons here. We looked at the cost advantages of TikTok. We looked at the best creative styles on TikTok right now. And then I showed you some actual results from a client that we've actually scaled big time in the last 10 months. Now, let me ask you this. If you found this training valuable, or if you feel like you're now in a position where you understand why or how TikTok ads can be so powerful, I think you're in the correct position to take the next step and actually learn how to run TikTok ads. Because what I've shared today is only 2 or 3 lessons. I have a TikTok ads course that is 44 lessons long. It literally takes you from the very first step of setting up your business manager to how to set up and integrate your pixel tracking takes you through every single functionality that TikTok has to offer in terms of advertising, all the tools. It shows you campaign structure. It explains it to you in a way that's easy to understand in a step-by-step process. We go through all the ad types. We actually show you how to film ads in there as well. It's 44 lessons. It's taken me months to film. And here's the best part. The entire course is a once-off payment of 3,999 Rand. If you compare that to what marketing agencies or marketing experts charge, it is very affordable considering it's a once-off payment. So most marketing agencies are going to charge you around 10,000 Rand per month, and that's a payment you have to make every single month. Now, wouldn't you much rather be putting that sort of money into your actual ad spend and getting a return on that? I own an agency. I've been doing this for a long time. The reason I made this course is because far too often I meet with small business owners in South Africa and I see they're paying agencies or marketing experts huge proportions of the funds that they have available for marketing. And this just doesn't make sense to me. If someone's got 10 or 20,000, why are they paying 8 or 10,000 Rand to an agency? They are much better served learning how to do it themselves and spending the full 20,000 Rand per month on ad spend, because they're actually getting a return on ad spend for that. You can't be giving half or more than half of your marketing budget away to an agency. So when I saw this, I knew there was a need to teach people how to run TikTok ads themselves. And as I mentioned, I've explained to you why I chose TikTok ads for this course. I think this is really the biggest opportunity. TikTok ads are still a massive early opportunity in South Africa, and people that learn to do it now are going to win big, big, big time. So if you've enjoyed this lesson, if you've enjoyed this training, please click below, purchase the course, and it will really change your business. And you're in a position now to take that next step. Thank you.